What's poppin', y'all? Looks like No Jumper's about to go back to back like Jordan 96, 97, because 2025 was the big U case, and 2026 it looks like maybe nobody's going to get arrested in this case that works at No Jumper, but several people that work at No Jumper are intimately close to this case, which just got blown out, and the person got put in crosshairs that allegedly committed the murder of Draco the Ruler. So a little bit of backstory. Draco the Ruler was the guy in LA. He was the guy everyone was like, yo, this is the next big rapper. And Adam 22 loved this guy as a rapper as well. So he would get talked about frequently on No Jumper. His lawyer would get brought in, and he was facing a bunch of different charges, like what his lawyer would allege was injustice, and he was in jail for a long time. So when he got out, like they said, it was a holiday in LA, so much so that Drake even did a song with Draco the Ruler. Flakko, who is the top personality out of No Jumper, whilst he hasn't been in the office for quite a while or in LA, he would post something to IG several days ago that people felt like he was aiming at people involved with Draco the Ruler's murder. And he says, there's an arrest coming very soon in a famous LA rapper's death. My video dropping once I get the green light to name the #1 suspect. The only reason the arrest hasn't happened yet is because they're building a conspiracy. So we had a RICO last year, No Jumper RICO last year, and this year is going to be the Draco RICO, I guess. And don't want another famous rapper to flee. I don't want to interfere. If LAPD drag their feet another month, I'm dropping the content. Well, we got the content. So the murder happened at Once Upon a Time in LA back in 2021. And as you can see on this lineup, this is a stacked lineup for LA. I mean, you've got YG, you've got Game, right? You've got Snoop, you've got 3 6, you've got Draco the Ruler, you got Blueface, right? Like, this is a West Coast lineup if there ever was one. But YG, who is Blood, they have issues, or had issues, with Draco the Ruler, who is Stink Team. That was his, crew. They didn't necessarily claim a gang, but I'm pretty sure they were closely affiliated with Crips. And unfortunately, at that event is where Draco the Ruler would lose his life. And 5 years later, nobody was arrested for it.
Chaos at a packed concert featuring rap legends like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube. A person was stabbed and police have shut down the show.
Well, a man is reported dead after being stabbed at a concert in Exposition Park last night. TMZ is reporting the victim was rapper Draco the Ruler. It happened around 8:30 last night during the Once Upon a Time in LA music festival being held at the Bank of California Stadium.
So after Flakko put out that post, this started to reverberate. And one of Flakko's co-hosts, so this is a really interesting dynamic that they have here. So Ralphie the Plug was one of the people that was close to Draco the Ruler. Like, they were tight. And Ralphie the Plug works at No Jumper. One of the members of the gang of people that killed Draco the Ruler also works at No Jumper. And he's one of the co-hosts. And it's this guy, Munchie B. And Munchie B, after Flakko's IG post, was not very happy.
Frederick, your real name, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, Frederick, Jala. I'm going to tell you why your name, that last name, on Inglewood family. Any female need to run from the Jala last name. It ain't straight. On any resume, it ain't straight. I swear to God, bro. Flakko. I'm not done right here, bro. I'm on your bumper because you're a horn, or use a frog, bro.
So this was a little bit odd because Flakko would outplay this guy, to be honest. So Munchie B, he's Inglewood family blood, as he says it himself. And Flakko would say, yo, I didn't even say which rapper did it. Like, why would Munchie B be tripping? And he would call in. So Munchie B and Flakko would start getting really disrespectful with each other in the No Jumper employee group chat. Adam 22 would talk about this. He's like, yo, this is getting so heated. This is real beef. I've never seen anything like this. And Flakko would call in to the show where you had Munchie B and Hefe, who are two street people in LA. And he would talk to him about the Draco the Ruler situation.
From my perspective, if Munchie is saying he has nothing to do with that, then why Munchie be so invested that he's willing to diss me and go out the way to cause this much trouble?
Hey, Flakko, hey. Look.
Munchie B answer that question though. If Munchie B has
he looking for a certain answer. I ain't gonna give it to him.
Going out of his way.
I feel like he's the only podcaster from Inglewood family, so he feels like it's kind of on him.
So the families have something to do with that.
I don't know what you talk. What are we talking about, bro?
Okay, let's be real.
Ask my question again.
When it comes to Bloods, Munchie is obviously kind of it has always been at the forefront of the Draco versus the Bloods beef. So I feel like it's not really that surprising that Munchie ends up speaking on behalf of the other side of that, right?
I think like
Munchie B has said he has nothing to do with that. The Bloods had nothing to do with that. Family had nothing to do with that. So again, if Munchie B and Inglewood families had nothing to do with that, then why is Munchie B so passionate about this and is causing this much trouble and dissing me over a potential video that don't even exist?
So you're probably looking at this like, yo, this guy's moving a little bit crazy. Like, how tight is he? What's going on? Well, Munchie B would explain why he hates Draco the Ruler and why he had dissed him in the past and why he continued to diss him even like after he passed away.
what y'all was saying when he was on record disrespecting my homie, rest in peace. He can't talk back, but you disrespecting him. You know what I'm saying?
Long live Red Bull, man.
Long live Red Bull. So, you know, when he passed, I kicked him while he was down, literally. Hey, look, bro. Hey, people invite certain energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel bad for nobody over there except for his mama, bro. His mama lost his son because he wanted to entertain a little too much, man.
So Munchie B, one of his close homies, was getting dissed by Draco the Ruler, and that guy's dead. And the allegation is one homie that they share is the guy that did it to Draco the Ruler. And whilst he says he doesn't really know about the situation, in the past, while he was on Clubhouse calls, Munchie B was actually saying that, yeah, he's so much homies with Draco the Ruler's killer that they were passing bottles around.
No,
Man, Draco is dead, bro. What are we talking about? Don't make me disrespectful.
Hold on, homie.
Hey, bro, look. Hold on. Hey, you know Draco shit used to be on the table and ain't there no more, right? Hold on. You know Draco shit was on the table and ain't there no more, right?
Me doing
Hold on. You do know I did. I said Draco and his brother worked there on Friday. You know on there every Tuesday, right?
He chooses
Shut your dumb up, bro. You sound, hey, bro. Hey, Draco is dead, bro. Hey, bro. The nigga Draco, I pass the bottle back and forth to him all the time. What are we talking about? Bro, Draco is dead, bro. Why are you talking about that?
Hey, bro, you heard what I just said, right?
Draco put 50 on a blind nigga and he's dead. Why are you talking about him?
So it was getting a little bit spooky. And the beef was between YG. So YG was doing an interview before this event happened too. So right now we're just talking about what is in the lead up to Flakko releasing this video that he just released. But we got to rewind a little bit more to give some context to the situation at the event. So YG was asked about this on the No Jumper podcast in 2021.
Like, people be knowing, like, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm not finna be going out there doing no rap diss and shit. It's like, if it's smoke, it's really smoke with us. We ain't playing, you know? So, like, I'm gonna tell the homies the same shit, bro. I done told D3 that, like, we ain't doing none of that weird shit for nothing, for the rap. No, we not on none of that. We trying to make hits. We gonna move around, get rich, have fun. All that rap beef and all that shit. We not rap beefing, we really beefing. The homies gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we ain't even trying to do that. We chilling. We not on that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I tell the homies. That's what I tell the homies that who I be with, that I hang with. You know what I'm saying? Like D3 young, bro, that's not cool. Like, we ain't doing none of that.
The important part about this is that Draco the Ruler already knew that there was issues here. And a bunch of people around Draco the Ruler, one of them being Whack 100, and others said that they would be able to keep him safe. Flakko reportedly said that Snoop Dogg hit up Draco the Ruler and said, like, listen, man, you gotta show up, you gotta perform. The reason why this is also really dangerous is because 6ix9ine had an experience similar to what Draco the Ruler would have, except he went in and went out with his life, unlike Draco the Ruler. Flakko would explain exactly what happened to Draco the Ruler and his team. We had a couple of guys with him when they were trying to enter the concert.
They got to the security entrance for the artist. The security guard said, "What's up, blood?" And they told Draco the Ruler they can't go through that entrance, even though Draco the Ruler was performing and he was an artist. And he's like, what? Wait, why can't I come through this entrance? Nah, blood, you gotta go to that other entrance. As they was driving to the other entrance, there was a van in front of them. They watched the van drive all the way through the security entrance and didn't get checked at all. But when Draco and his crew of people got there, their cars got checked. They got stripped. They got checked as if this was like the airport security, bro. They couldn't even bring a lighter in. But a van in front of them went right through. This is when Draco ignored a couple of signs that was supposed to trigger something within him. The van before you got right through without being checked. The security guard, who was a blood, told you can't go through the artist entrance. You had to go through this other entrance you had no idea of. Clearly something was up.
So part of the reason why Draco walked or told everybody to leave all of their weapons, guns, etc. is because he did not want any problems. Not with other people, because he knew there was going to be some issue. But the thing is, Draco the Ruler, the NYPD were on, not NYPD. I'm just thinking too much about hip hop police, which is NYPD. The LAPD, they were looking for any reason to get him. And they really wanted to get him on those charges that he ended up beating and getting out of jail. So they wanted to throw him back in jail. They needed any reason. So he was not going to give them a reason. So it was a little bit of a suspicious situation, but he would walk in with no weapons or anything. And this is the problem with LA. Like I said, 6ix9ine, when he had his own issues with YG, academics would recount this and talk about how the security guards, they alerted, or when he had issues with Future, I think it was as well, at Complex Con, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Complex Con in Long Beach. I don't think it was I think it was in Long Beach. The people that work security were gang members that are cool with the performers. So the security is supposed to, like, quote unquote, protect the event, but really their first loyalty is to the gang. So they're going to give information on that. So what's being alleged, if you read between the lines, it seems like the security guards were members that were tight with YG that were told to keep an eye out or already knew about the issues with Draco the Ruler. So Draco the Ruler walks in there and he gets swarmed by 100+ people. Like, this was a brutal fight. It was a fight, and then it ended up being a stabbing. So how the hell did weapons get in there? Well, Flakko would point out the exact person that allegedly brought in those knives.
On my mama, bro. The big ass ball security guard snuck in, knives, all type of weird.
So he's saying that YG's big security guard that's always with him is the guy that was bringing it. And that's also another guy, and the guy in the mask would be pointing out, like, yo, this big, huge guy. And that's who Flakko was saying is the person that was handing out knives for him to get stabbed. And then he would drop the big reveal, which is who he says did it.
Was it? He's a friend of Munchie B called Frankenstone. His legal name is Frank Williams. Now, this particular screenshot right here is footage from another murder Frank Williams is involved in. We are not going to show the footage or identify the victim of the murder because we personally don't want to include the victim in anything out of respect for him and his family. That footage that I'm not going to show nor identify who the victim was, that footage is of Frankenstone, aka Frank Williams, stabbing another victim in the neck after an altercation at an after party spot. He murdered this victim the same way he murdered Draco. The victim held his hand out to shake Frank Williams' hand. Frank Williams refused to shake his hand and then stalked him all across the building and then ultimately stabbed him. Now, the police believe that he did this to promote or assist the Black P Stones. He's currently out on bail as he's fighting this murder case. Now, when he found out that I was going to do this video about him, that I was going to identify him as the man who stabbed Draco the Ruler, he deleted his Instagram, his Facebook. He deleted all traces of himself from online.
So this is crazy because this person is a terror that is out on the streets. And whenever people say, like, yo, you know, like the people on, like, you've got to get people out jail. There's too many, the jails are overcrowded. This is the exact person you don't want to let out of jail. Like, you want to let the person that, you know, maybe caught a weed charge, someone that, you know, if you let them out, they're not going to do anything harmful to somebody else, especially ending someone's life until they come back and face their charges. So this guy, he had allegedly killed somebody else too. So he's got two bodies on his hands. Flakko didn't want to reveal out of respect for the other victim. And apparently this has been rolling around for a long time and Munchie B's tight with this guy. Now what Flakko is saying is that this is a conspiracy, and that's why he wasn't going to drop the video earlier. So if it's a conspiracy and this guy was Inglewood family or whatever that's deleted all of his socials and everything, that means that that Munchie B might get scooped up too. And that's where this would turn into No Jumper RICO number 2, which is last year they did a sweep I don't even know if was it a Fed case that time? I don't know. But they did a sweep last year, and this year they're going to do a sweep again. And this is a little bit disappointing because I remember watching, it was in 2025, a No Jumper podcast. It was the first No Jumper podcast I had watched in a really long time. Maybe since, I wouldn't say since House Phone was there. Because, I would say since AD was there. Yeah, I would say since AD was there. And this guy, Munchie, took over. It was like a 4.5 hour podcast. And I was like, man, this guy's got some talent. He's got some star power. He could be a really good host. He was a little bit drunk. And I know that like sometimes people complain about him being a little bit too drunk and taking over, but this guy, he could podcast. He had the talent for it. So it'd be really sad for him to get scooped up, and then now, he's facing charges again. But this is kind of scary for Flakko because I don't think I've ever seen something like this. Is ballsy. I gotta give the dude respect. This is some breaking journalism type activity. Academics better put some respect on his name. Can academics talk about he's the number one journalist? Well, this guy got it. I don't think academics really gets involved in that like street stuff, especially LA stuff and breaking news like this. But this is journalistic work. He got the information ahead of everybody else, and he got permission to release it, and he did so. But I don't know if he's in North Dakota, South Dakota. He might need, I don't know if that's far enough. Like, you're still landlocked with these guys in LA. You've got to go over to Hawaii or Alaska to one of these bunkers that Mark Zuckerberg's got. Like, that's where they got to have Flakko recording out of next. And he's just got to recreate the set in the bunker, just like the set that he's got, similar to what Aiden Ross did with his old room. Because how do you even like go back to LA? Because I can't imagine how many people are upset at the situation. And obviously, like, they shouldn't, or they can't, or they shouldn't do anything to Flakko, because if any harm comes to him, they know exactly who to look at. But you're asking people to think ahead and foresight. They're criminals. They're angry. They're not thinking like, oh, if I do this to someone, this might happen to me. Except with Charleston White or 6ix9ine. Like, when someone is known to snitch, I guess, it's like some repellent, some sort of kryptonite. But this is an unbelievable story. And I'm really interested to learn more about the figure that deleted all of his social media. What's his background? How many rappers is he cool with? Does YG get, brought into this? Is he one of the people that gets arrested? If YG's on a RICO and Flakko broke that first, this is going to be insane. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I would say, like, once we haven't seen charges come yet. That's why I can't say I'm like happy to see Draco finally get justice. But I will say, like, it was sad to see that guy's career get cut short, because he was really the last LA rapper that had a chance of moving past the Inland Empire or Redlands. What's further east, Inland Empire or Redlands? Most of them do not make it past that. At best, to Vegas. I would say Shoreline Mafia made it to Vegas, Arizona, New Mexico. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. And by the way, like, some people just don't get me. I'm being sarcastic about Shoreline Mafia, okay? Now, OGZ, yes, he did not make it past Nevada. That's for sure, in his solo career. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one.